Pat Ryan from Ucore Rare Metals. I don't really know where to start between your news flow and actually your news coverage. So why don't we, for fun, start with your news coverage? You were in a very well-read story by Reuters recently. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, certainly. Reuters contacted us probably a couple of months ago, Tracy, and they were doing a piece on Western mid-market separation that was needed, and who had technology out there that really had an opportunity to get to the finish line. And they'd heard a lot about our RapidSX technology, our column-based tech. They really liked what they heard, and they actually came to Alexandria, Louisiana. I think if you noted the article, it had a headline that said Alexandria, Louisiana. That's actually where the writing stemmed from. And the whole purpose of the article was to say, okay, we need this Western world mid-market separation. Who are the innovators out there that are really trying to move forward and get the job done? And Ucore was certainly one that they centered on. And we got a lot of highlight time in the article. There were a couple other technologies mentioned that were nanotech used to program proteins. There was a comment about RETech in Scandinavia and what they're doing over in Scandinavia. One or two others that they touched on, but really I kind of applauded Reuters for understanding that mid-market is certainly the key, and that's what's needed to continue to build a supply chain in North America, which really parallels what the DOE is looking at as well. The DOE realizes that this mid-market is crucial. So yeah, good on them. They came to Louisiana, they had a look, they understood what they were up to. They made a couple of interesting points about let the miners be the miners and let the technically difficult separators be the technically difficult separators. And they applauded Ucore for its work in that area. As you know, we have a resource in Southeast Alaska, the Volcan resource, but we've kind of put that on the back burner and moving along at a slow pace because we realize that quick to revenue and first mover in this market of separation is key. And Reuters likes that business model going forward. So, good on them for centering on Ucore in that article.
And of course, there's more than Reuters centering on Ucore. We have breaking news this morning with the Louisiana governor, obviously, is applauding what you're up to, and that they are executing Ucore's SMC industrial tax exemption contract. Let's talk about that, please.
Yeah, the news came out this morning. We have through Louisiana Economic Development, part of the state of Louisiana, there's a $15 million incentive package, and the governor had to sign off on the tax incentive portion of it, which he did just recently. It was in the last 10 days or so. And also in the release too, we've noted a couple of contractors now that we brought on board that are Louisiana centric, but they're kind of global and North American in nature. One is Orbital Engineering. Orbital Engineering out of Pittsburgh. They build big energy plants, infrastructure projects. Really good engineering team, but they have an office in New Orleans. So they've now joined the Ucore team to be able to take our commercial demo that we're working with in Kingston and actually deploy it in Louisiana. They've joined the MECChem team. The MECChem team are working on the process flow sheets. Orbital will work on the production engineering. We've also added Radcliffe Construction. Radcliffe Construction is in central Louisiana. They do a lot of work on the Gulf Coast. They have great, electrical contractors, piping contractors, and given the nature of what we're building in Louisiana, those disciplines of piping and pumps and PLCs, electrical systems, Radcliffe are top notch. And all of those groups, along with the England Authority, the England Authority is a political arm under the Louisiana government that's actually controlling the building that Ucore is moving into in Alexandria, Louisiana. Along with Louisiana Central, they came to Kingston just last week. So the contracting companies, the engineering companies, the government people, they all arrived in Kingston because they wanted to see the commercial demo plant firsthand. Very impressed with what they saw. And really what we're trying to show them is this is what we're copying and pasting. Copy and paste this. This is what we're putting in Louisiana. So a very Louisiana theme for a couple of reasons, but one in particular is that we're looking for further support from the U.S. government, looking for further support from the state of Louisiana. And we've got contractors and engineering firms and local authorities pretty excited about what's going on.
Well, I would like to personally congratulate both Ucore and Louisiana Governor John Bel Edwards on executing this contract for the benefit of job creation and development for Louisiana. I'm a huge Louisiana fan. It's my understanding this is expected to create at least 100 family wage-paying jobs. Can you talk to us a little bit more about how this is anticipated to have a very positive impact on the local and state economy?
Yeah, absolutely. Alexandria, which is in the center of the state, when we did our due diligence and ended up in Louisiana, we did it for a couple of reasons. But one in particular was the the economic profile in that area. There are good technical universities. There's a good workforce, but that workforce has typically been used to the oil and gas, where they have to sporadically go offshore to work, in the Gulf, and it's not reliable work. And what Alexandria would like to do, and what Louisiana would like to do specifically, is become more involved with the energy transition that we're involved with here in the 21st century. They've got a couple of battery opportunities that have taken hold in Louisiana. So they see this rare earth processing opportunity as another part of that plan going forward, of creating stable jobs that allow people to, good paying family jobs. And 100 plus people employed. That's at a 5,000 ton per annum a plant. And again, Louisiana doing all the right stuff to make sure they're part of this energy transition. So yeah, good on them and good on the governor.
I also really am enjoying following Ucore because I want to point out one more thing that I would love for you to comment, and that's the duality of both the US and Canadian government being supporters of Ucore. You're kind of like the perfect example of, how North American leadership. Can you give us an update on how you have support from both the US and Canadian government?
Yeah, certainly. The DoD stepped up a few months ago with a program to allow us to commercially run thousands of hours on our plant in Kingston. Think about it, that's the U.S. government saying, here's a funding package to run thousands of hours on your plant in Kingston, Ontario, because we'd like to see that technology then deployed in Louisiana. And so the DoD under the IBAS, which is the Industrial Base Analysis and Sustainability Division, they were instrumental in making that happen. On the Canadian government side, they too looked at what the U.S. was doing. They saw the heavy rare earth program and said, we too want to be part of this. You're a Canadian company. So the people with the Canadian government stepped up to a $4.3 million program, which was to run commercial hours using light feedstock, and again, thousands of hours to continue to gather metric data so we can plug into Louisiana. The Canadian wish list is that SMC, Strategic Metals Complex #2, would be back in Canada. For now, they realize number one is in Louisiana. They want to help make sure the commercial fortitude of what we're doing is in place. So yeah, Canada, US working together, and not easy contracts. They don't just write checks and say, here you go, good luck. A lot of due diligence that went in both on the US side and the Canadian side to say, you know what, this technology you have, this is what we need to westernize, to innovate, make sure we're able to go ahead and deploy effectively in North America. So two governments understanding the importance, understanding the tech that we have, and getting behind it. Commercial run many hours, longer term, let's get behind it even further.
As you're heading into the holidays, Pat, you've been working around the clock. So we really appreciate you even fitting us into your schedule here with this exceptional update. What should we as shareholders anticipate in the upcoming quarter, please?
Well, you'll see more data and commercial metrics coming out of the plant in Kingston. Part of that plant, as you know, is to run qualified product to purities that can be used in a supply chain that includes metal alloy making, and eventually to people like automotive companies, wind energy companies, and we're in discussions with several companies on an offtake side. So product to spec, hopefully the finalization of our first offtake arrangement. And we're looking at several right now. We're in discussions with automotive, we're in discussions with consumer electronics, wind energy, and national defense companies. So everyone looking at what we're doing, we're trying to make that happen effectively for our shareholders. And then Louisiana, they continue to build out. Now that we've got a very strong team with Orbital, MechChem, Ratcliffe, look for further development plans of that plant in Louisiana taking form, taking shape as we run to be a first mover in this this market that needs first moving companies that can get jobs done. So yeah, all of that is part of our Q1 news flow in 2024.
And for those of you that might be new to Ucore, I encourage you to go to the Ucore website to take a read through the bios on this management and board of directors. And on that note, Pat, thank you so much for your time. I wish you a wonderful holiday.
You as well. Thanks, Tracy.